Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news. Look, this relationship with Nicolas Jackson is well and truly over. His agent once again talking the talk. Enzo Maresca in the press conference actually saying otherwise. But look, the bottom line is, as we are gearing up for the match against Bayern Munich tomorrow, we're going to talk about Champions League on my separate channel. Check Miss TV Total Football. If you haven't subscribed to that, make sure you subscribe to that. I'm going to talk about a few of the matches, not all of them. I'll be touching base on those matches, so do check that out. And also, if you missed that earlier on today, All You Can Eat Chelsea episode was once again an absolute banger where we talked about Brentford and Bayern Munich in far more detail. So do check that out. But we're going to kick things off from here. Nicolas Jackson. His agent doing a lot of talk. You know what? Before we do that, just quickly, I think it's very importante to touch base on this news. Chelsea add Facundo Buonanotte to their Champions League squad after long-term injury for Dario Osugo. Congratulations to Buonanotte. His dream was to play in the Champions League for Chelsea Football Club. When he joined, that was what he was quoted. But then, obviously, he found himself not in the squad, and that was a bit strange for me. That, hey, what's going on? But a lot of people have been saying he's on loan, so he's not going to be in the squad. But now, with the long-term injury for Dario Sogo, Buonanotte is back into the squad now. Look, whether he gets a lot of minutes, I'm not so sure about that. But it's still another body to have from the bench. That's if he does make the bench, because there's a lot of players that are potentially not going to end up even making the bench. Last game against Brentford, we saw Mark Guehi not in the bench, even when Maresca came out post-match saying that I like to play with a striker up top with João Pedro just behind against low blocks. That's the best case scenario. And still, Mark Guehi didn't make the bench. So we'll see whether Buonanotte makes the Champions League squad or not, but he is now part of the entire long list of players that are part of the squad for the Champions League tournament. He is there. He is traveling. He has traveled, in fact, to Germany, and we shall see if he's in the bench. Now, as I said, Nicolas Jackson. Diomansy Kamara, his agent, Nicolas Jackson's advisor on returning to Chelsea. Well, his advisor, or part of his agent as well. I think his agent is Ali Barat. I think that's him. But Diomansy Kamara is also someone who seems to be putting out a lot of quotes out there. Returning to Chelsea, absolutely not today at Chelsea. The relationship with Maresca isn't necessarily the best. We will see what is best for him, but it's true that Bayern is a priority for him for a long time. There you go. I mean, why will this brother unnecessarily come out publicly and state that quote? Like, he's mentioned a lot of things. He said, no, we're not thinking about returning back to Chelsea. Absolutely not. Long-term future is Bayern Munich. And on top of that, he says the relationship between Maresca isn't necessarily the best. This has been the confusion in the Chelsea fan base, that why has Nicolas Jackson been let go of? A lot of fans been saying we should have kept him. A few fans are even saying that, look, it seems like maybe Enzo Maresca wanted Nicolas Jackson. He doesn't seem to want Mark Guehi, even though we've recalled Mark Guehi back. So why would this brother, Diomansy Kamara, publicly come out and say the relationship between Nicolas Jackson and Enzo Maresca isn't necessarily the best one? So it makes me think that it isn't. However, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, Enzo Maresca, on his relationship with Jackson, this is what he was asked. The question was asked in the press conference, and this is what he had to say. Me personally, I don't have any kind of problem with Nico. I do not have any sort of problems with Nico. He's a good guy, a good professional, and he worked well with us. That is it. It can be a small advantage having an inside knowledge of Chelsea, because Vincent Kompany, can ask Nico how we work. He knows how we approach games, but at the end, we will see. Look, I mean, I highly doubt Nicolas Jackson has all of this inside information, the blueprint to beating Chelsea, or how we want to set up, what we want to do, and he's just going to present that to Vincent Kompany. Sure, he might have some ideas. Of course, he was one of the players. He knows exactly what it requires to press from the front, and he was a very good presser. for Chelsea Football Club under Enzo Maresca. But I don't expect him to know every single detail, and I don't expect Enzo Maresca to simply set up in that way where it's so predictable. But it's crazy. Vincent Kompany actually said that Chelsea are very predictable, but we're going to get to that. The bottom line here, I feel, ladies and gentlemen, is that I do feel that Enzo Maresca ultimately felt that it's time to move on from Nicolas Jackson, not just because of Nicolas Jackson's attitude as well, which was a bit erratic at times at Chelsea Football Club, but his inability to be a potent striker. Yes, he scored quite a lot of goals, but he wasn't potent at Chelsea Football Club. And I think ultimately that made the switch. And I do believe Diomansy Kamara, advisor of Nicolas Jackson, that the relationship with Enzo Maresca is not necessarily the best. Obviously, Enzo Maresca is not going to come out and say that. He said what he had to say in a professional manner. But I feel that the relationship is over between Nicolas Jackson and Chelsea Football Club. We shall see if Bayern Munich at the end of the loan spell actually buys him. He is obligated, but there's some clause, there's some trigger points that makes it an obligation, which I think will be very difficult for Bayern Munich to hit. Sources close to Nicolas Jackson say there are no hard feelings between him and his former teammates. He was a popular figure in the Chelsea dressing room, and Enzo Fernandez in particular hasn't forgotten the support Jackson showed him during a difficult period. Now, look, yeah, I agree. Enzo Fernandez, if you guys remember the beginning of last season, there was a lot of controversy around him and the racism row and whatnot. And Nicolas Jackson was one of the players that helped him out. But I don't feel every player got along with Nicolas Jackson. Now, he might not have any hard feelings with majority of the players, but I feel like Cole Palmer, we saw in the Club World Cup, Cole Palmer, when Nicolas Jackson did not square the ball to Cole Palmer, how angry and filthy Cole Palmer was. I do feel, and we know the incidents that Cole Palmer had with Nicolas Jackson previously and Madueke. I know they had a good connection in the team. They've assisted and scored goals together, and they've combined well together. But then, right at the end of it, I feel like there was some sort of friction between Nicolas Jackson and Palmer, I feel. But then again, we shall see. But it's good to hear. And this brother right here, Rahman Osman, he's a massive advocate of Nicolas Jackson. So I do believe that Nicolas Jackson overall doesn't have any problems with majority of the players, but I don't think every player seems to, would probably see eye to eye with Nicolas Jackson. But and that's normal. Can't be friends with everyone. Maresca on why he didn't count on Jackson for the season: because we bought Liam Delap and João Pedro. There you go. Got João Pedro, we got Liam Delap. There was no room for Nicolas Jackson. Yes, there is a room for a third striker, a third option, but Nicolas Jackson didn't want to be that third option. He wants to be an important player. I think it's very important to understand that. I will be shocked down the track in the January transfer window. Well, there's already talks about Amiga coming to Chelsea Football Club in the January transfer window. We've already done the deal with Amiga of Strasbourg, and I won't be surprised if he comes from Strasbourg to Chelsea in January and becomes an option for us. And Enzo Maresca has said he likes to play with a striker up front and Liam Delap, with striker up front and João Pedro just behind the striker, which means then there is a need for having another striker in the bench. Right now it's Guy. I don't know. We shall see whether Guy makes the bench moving forward, but I feel like maybe Enzo Maresca doesn't really trust Mark Guy. Now, check what Vincent Kompany had to say. Vincent Kompany, I've already watched probably 40 games of Chelsea last season. They're an interesting team to observe. This guy's doing the same type of homework that Enzo Maresca does. Enzo Maresca is another one that watches a lot of games of rivals, and he's watched 40 games of Chelsea. Good on him. They're an interesting team to observe, but I don't think there's a lot of mystery around them. And I know the coach very well. He does. He does know him. Does he know him? Does he know him from Championship? Was Leicester won the Championship, right? Was Vincent Kompany there at that time? I don't know. Because Vincent Kompany won the Championship with Burnley, and then he was the Burnley manager season before last season, right? So that must have been before Leicester. Yeah, Yeah, that must have been before Leicester. Yes. So yeah, how? Yeah, I'm not really sure how much he knows about Enzo Maresca, but he seems to have done the research. But I don't think there's a lot of mystery around them, and I know the coach very well. I'll quickly see tomorrow whether we've done our homework. Brother, you are talking the talk. No mystery around Chelsea, huh? But I don't think there's a lot of mystery around them. Do you know what? I'm hoping and praying, and we're going to do the preview tomorrow. Do watch out for that early UK time. I am hoping Chelsea win this, man. I'm confident. I'm looking at the Bayern Munich team. I'm not scared one bit. I know they've got some very talented attack. Their attack is probably one of the best in the world, but our attack is no numpty either. And when you look at Bayern Munich's defense and their midfield and compare that with our attack and our midfield, we should have also enough artilleries, enough ammunition to go at them. Yes, our defense is a bit of a worry too. No problems about that. I understand that. But it's not like they are, unbeatable. They are, undestructible. No, they're not. They're not. So, yeah, Vincent Kompany, it's time. It's time to show you what Chelsea's all about. PSG felt the same way as well. They felt that, yeah, Chelsea's got no, surprise about them. That we shouldn't be worried. There's no mystery about Chelsea. And then we showed them in the scoreline and how dominating we were against PSG. And I can't wait to do a similar act on Bayern Munich. I hope we do that. Vincent Kompany, yeah. Look, incredible. I want to humble him. I really do want to humble him. Let's see if we can do that. Next up, Romeo Lavia and Buddy Ishil are in open training this morning. Fantastic news, which is good. If Romeo Lavia is somewhat fit to be even in the bench and to rely on him to come off the bench and give us some minutes, I think that'll be sensational. I just hope he doesn't get injured anymore. Buddy Ishil is also another good inclusion. Once again, once you include these two players in the bench, who misses out? Someone's definitely going to be missing out, that's for sure. But Romeo Lavia is a key factor in midfield. Him, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez, that trio, that can be devastating for us. But we have to keep Romeo Lavia fit. This guy's barely fit. Enzo Maresca on if Cole Palmer starts. We try every game, even against Brentford, with our best 11, game by game. We need to manage different problems. In the last game, Cole was not fit to play 90 minutes. Esteval was out. Cole, 3 days ago, didn't play from the start, but we will see tomorrow. Look, Cole Palmer needs to start. That's the bottom line. There's no two ways about it. He needs to start against Bayern Munich. I hope he's fit. He played, I think close to 30 minutes odd against Brentford. Or did he start from the second half? I can't quite remember. Did he say Brentford? We try every game against Brentford to manage. In the last game, Cole was not fit to play 90 minutes. Yeah, I don't exactly recall. Maybe he played about 30 minutes. I don't think he came straight from the second half. I don't think so. But look, against Bayern Munich, we need him. He needs to start. Without him, it's going to be a bit difficult. We need his creativity, and I feel like Bayern Munich, with the defense that they have and how I feel like they'll approach the game at their home ground, is they will try and push forward and leave certain space at the back. I need Cole Palmer to be there to manipulate and exploit those spaces along with João Pedro. I definitely need Cole Palmer to start. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to Nicolas Jackson's relationship with Chelsea and Enzo Maresca. Do you think it's over? And moving forward against Bayern Munich, are you confident? Are you confident that we can get the victory? Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.